Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first
and hopefully only.
fully virtual awards ceremony. I'm Andrea Jonas.
And I'm Megan Sellinger, and we are your English Awards co-coordinators. We're thrilled to have you all with us today.
Megan and I would like to begin by recognizing that as individuals and as representatives of the University of Waterloo, we're joining you from the traditional territories of the neutral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee peoples. The University of Waterloo is situated on the Halaman Tract, land that was promised to the Haudenosaunee of the Six Nations of the Grand River in 1784 for fighting on the side of the Crown. Today, less than 5% of the land remains in their care. And treaty rights continue to be threatened in 2021, as seen in the ongoing 1492 Land Back Lane protests. Through this brief acknowledgement, we seek to make visible the historical and present day erasure that shaped the work that we do as part of the university community, and use this opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to reconciliation between settlers and the Indigenous peoples of Canada.
While we know it's been a challenging year, we're very happy to celebrate the accomplishments of our undergraduate and graduate students in this virtual forum. We're still hoping, fingers crossed everyone, that we'll be back in person next year. But being able to celebrate virtually does have its perks.
Absolutely. Planning our virtual event pushed us to update our awards website to showcase our winners in a more vibrant way. And we're excited to share more about this at the end of the ceremony.
As you may have noticed in your program, a number of our donors have graciously offered their time and energy to talk about their awards and their connection to Waterloo. This is also something new we've been able to include this year. We have a few videos and some comments to share with you from those donors throughout our time together today. And we hope you'll take the opportunity to check out the full versions of all of the interviews after the ceremony.
What's also great about this virtual event is that it expands our audience so that those who ordinarily wouldn't be able to attend our in-person event now can. We extend a special welcome to the donors and the friends and family members of our winners who are joining us today, along with, of course, our students, faculty, and staff.
Speaking of our students, did you know, Andrea, we received over 150 submissions to our awards this year from faculty, undergraduate, and graduate students.
I did not know that, Megan. Wow, I hadn't counted, but I suspect that this year was a record high. You will notice a few ties and honorable mentions, which hints at the difficult time the judges had selecting the winners.
And of course, we're here not just to celebrate the winners, but to recognize all of the hard work and talent of our English students. And with that, let's get going with a few words from our chair, Shelley Huden.
Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Awards Ceremony for the Department of English Language and Literature. My name is Shelley Hewlin and I chair the department. English has more than 260 students in its 3 undergraduate majors and more than 100 full-time graduate students in its MA and PhD programs. As instructors and members of the program, the first English program in Canada to incorporate a rhetoric component and to introduce co-op to its degree programs, we're really proud of our interdisciplinary history and of the many different areas that we have taken on over the years, including professional writing, communication design, experimental digital media, and creative writing, all of which can be pursued as part of an English degree in literature, rhetoric, or media and professional communication. Every year, the department is pleased to offer 40 highly competitive undergraduate and graduate awards for which our students compete. We're honored to be able to recognize the variety and quality of work in so many diverse fields, and each year we look forward to celebrating our students' achievements at the awards ceremony. Last year, the sudden campus shutdown and equally sudden pivot to a completely online university world meant that for the first time since it began, the awards ceremony had to be canceled. We are doubly delighted, therefore, to be with you here today. I know that for many of you, this year has posed significant challenges, and we have all adjusted to communicating with each other remotely and to sustaining our communities without ever seeing each other in person. We've managed to do that, And today we're back together again, if still virtually, and proceeding with an altered but exciting awards event. Thank you all for attending, your valued contributors to the university and department communities. One of the innovations that our awards coordinators are introducing that maybe could not have been introduced in an in-person format are messages from the many donors who make our roster of awards possible. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize those donors whose belief in the value of an English language and literature education in all of its many disciplinary forms has made so many of our awards and this event possible. The department is humbled and grateful that you choose to support students in this way, recognizing their talents and achievements. I'd also like to thank Doctors Megan Sellinger and Andrea Jonas, the awards coordinators who, through the year, have managed the many nominations for every award, distributed the submissions to various judges, diplomatically ensured that all the judges made their decisions in a timely fashion, and compiled the awards program that we're following today. Thanks too to the staff who have aided Megan and Andrea, Margaret Ulbrich and Debbie Nalick. Without these four individuals, we could never have hoped to put on this ceremony. Thank you very much again for attending today, and I hope that you enjoy this ceremony as much as I will.
I'm Juliana, and I'm going to be reading the beginning of my short story, And Then the Floating Bears Came. That's a floating bear, is something I no longer think to myself when I see a floating bear. That doesn't mean that there isn't, in fact, a panda or grizzly hovering above me as if it weighs no more than water vapor. I just don't really notice it anymore. The floating bears have become as normal as clouds, cars, fast food restaurants, and fortune-telling cuckoo clocks. So when I walk past 14 of the things while crossing one city block, I'm not thinking about them any more than I'm thinking about whether I'm hungrier for a burrito or a salad. Tonight, I'm meeting the stranger on the roof of the Compass, like I have every Sunday in the months since Violet disappeared. In that time, they've never offered their name, so I just continue to call them the stranger to myself. The bears are dense along this route. Blinking their glassy eyes, they congregate unnervingly in the air. Sometimes they gently bounce into each other or a building, and then they drift off, unnoticing or uncaring, too high to reach, usually. I could try to avoid them by taking a less direct route, I suppose, but I have so little free time during exam season as it is. Besides, no matter which path I take, I have a feeling I'd find a gathering of bears there before long, too. I stop at the street corner across from the Compass and wait for the walk signal. Burrito or salad? I still haven't decided. There's a cuckoo clock at this corner. Each one looks a little different, but I'm familiar with this parrot, no bigger than my thumb, its feathers carved and painted in emerald green, its beady eyes with their mischievous glint. It hits the half hour as the walk signal appears, chirping even before it exits its mechanical door. It rocks back and forth and waits for me to take the little slip of paper out of its wooden beak, but this is not the first fortune I've ignored tonight. I'm already walking away. Tires squeal as a hasty left turner also zips through the crosswalk. Thank you.
Beloved daughter, sister, and friend, Janice Delmato was a passionate and talented creative writer. In 2005, Janice completed a certificate program in creative writing. She wrote several short creative stories and poems, including Treasure at the Circus, What Christmas is Like with You, and The Rose Kitty. These stories shared common themes: family, friendship, belonging, inclusion, and love. She also wrote a personal memoir entitled My Delusional Life, where she recounted her experiences with mental illness and the courage it took to lead a meaningful life with her family's love. She expressed in her memoir the hope that one day mental illness will be cured, and the stigma that makes many living with mental illness feel unworthy of love and friendship. Through this award, her passion for storytelling lives on by supporting and celebrating others' creative work. Congratulations to this year's recipient of the Janice Delmato Memorial Award in Creative Writing.
Hi, I'm Selena, and I'll be reading Hannah and Mac and the Highway Overpass. After my shift, I saw Mac's car in the parking lot. I opened the door and got in. Hey, you. Her eyes lingered on my face. Hey. I pulled my phone from my apron. Are we okay? Yeah, good. Because I love you. I dropped my phone. She turned the key and backed out of the lot. Don't you think it's a little early for that? Did she expect me to say it back? I don't think time has anything to do with it, honestly. Did I love her? I didn't know. How did she know? I retrieved my phone. I'm just scared of how much you want to leave. Leave the town, not you. Yeah, but I'm in the town. I live here. I'll probably come back after I graduate. I know you want that now, 'cause you don't know what's out there. She waved her hand at the road where it turned into the overpass, then stopped outside my house. If you stay here forever, you'll either become your mom or... She hesitated, but I knew the end. Or my dad. I'd leave one day without warning and never come back. Leave my family, my house, move anywhere, just to move somewhere. I got out and unlocked my door, listening to her pull away. At the kitchen table sat an envelope from the University of Ottawa and my mom. She was looking at me with big eyes. If I got in, I was going to go. She knew this was my top choice. I opened it. I'm in! She jumped up and hugged me, my eyes wetted from excitement and horror. I'd have to move away. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry. Be proud. I am. No, I'm sorry I'm leaving. She held me out at arm's length. That's okay. You got to go. I wish I didn't. I won't know what to do there. You'll figure it out. It won't be much different. I'd rather live here, even if it's the same. I know, but people can't stay in one spot forever. Even your father, driving all over the country, getting to see the whole province, he couldn't keep coming back to this. The world is wide, but don't take it from me.
I think winning awards was hugely influential on my decision to fund this award. To me, like winning awards for my writing from the English department was so important because it was recognition of my talent and of my ability to, do what I loved and earn money doing it. So that kind of validation, I think, is so key. I wanted to give back to the department and especially to future English students. And because awards were so important to me when I was an undergrad, I figured that was a good way to give back. I got really into post-colonialism and related studies while I was an undergrad, and I got to the point where I was writing what I thought were really great essays and pieces, and I couldn't submit them to any contest because they didn't meet the criteria. So establishing something that was just for post-colonialism, and I say just, but it's actually like so broad and inclusive, was really important to me. I think that post-colonialism, diaspora, transnationalism, all of that is really pervasive throughout all of our societies. We are all products of these historical relations. I mean, I think the importance of establishing this award is to recognize the importance of those topics in everything we do, in how we identify ourselves and conceive of who we are. I think that's so exciting that there's a huge range of submission formats and content this year. Inclusivity was definitely something I kept at the forefront of developing this award. I want to recognize all the different ways that people interact and engage with their own post-colonial experiences. And post-colonialism itself is such a broad topic. You can incorporate it into pretty much anything you talk about. The subject of the award itself was meant to be incredibly broad and open and inclusive. I'm glad that so many people are applying to the award and engaging with these topics. But yeah, I'm honestly just glad that I can give back in a way that is meaningful to me and fills a need in the department and aims to uplift people who, are seriously considering the kind of topics and intersectionality that, people like me have to live with every day.
The Donald R. and Mary E. Snyder Literary Award for Excellence in Nonfiction Writing is one of our new awards this year, generously provided by Jamie Snyder. The award is given to the best rhetorical research essay on a speech or a piece of life writing. I'm going to share a few key excerpts from his interview, but as mentioned, please check out the website after the ceremony for the whole interview. These are his words. Donald and Mary Snyder were my parents. My father was born and raised in Waterloo, Ontario. My grandfather was one of the founders of the University of Waterloo, one of the original gentlemen that created Collegiate College, technically what Waterloo was originally called. My parents found themselves together at Waterloo in the early 1950s and got married, and I am the benefit of their marriage. I guess the best thing I can tell you regarding the award and my parents is that they were avid readers, loved to read, and instilled that in me. Education is reading. So that was their background in terms of instilling that in myself, and in their memory, I created this award. In creating this award, there was a need for something like this within the university, and it is my hope that it will inspire other people, or people who didn't think they could write, to try and write. I think it is important in terms of life writing that people are able to share and talk about their experiences and put them down on paper, share their life and experience, and inspire somebody else. It will create within the department the ability for students to step out of their comfort zone and say, I'm going to try to win that award, and let their creative juices flow and see where it takes them.
The Masternick Foundation Awards for both undergraduate and graduate students are based on academic excellence. We had 2 undergraduate and 1 graduate student receiving these awards this year. We heard from Matthew Joseph Masternick about his time at Waterloo and his motivations for establishing the foundation. I'm going to share highlights from his interview, but we encourage you to check out the full interview after the award ceremony. These are his words. After 2 years in the honors mathematics program, I decided that I needed to add some variety to my studies. Although I was still determined to complete the program, I began taking some English courses. The English courses brought a balance to my curriculum, which enabled me to complete an honors degree in both mathematics and English. One of my favorite university professors was Paul Beam. In my final year, he encouraged me to apply for the master's program in English. I had 2 motivations in establishing the scholarships in English. Firstly, I financed my university studies through summer jobs, student loans, and scholarships. The scholarships made a significant contribution to my finances. Secondly, English has had a generational impact by passing on my appreciation of English to my son. When he was young, our nightly ritual included reading before bedtime, the original Hardy Boys, James Thurber, The Hobbit, and many others. He graduated with bachelor's and master's degrees in engineering, and despite his rigorous workload, he always found time to do some reading. I have an observation offered by my son. English is fundamentally important. Anyone who spends the majority of their life working with engineers knows that.
My name is David Nemo, and I guess I'll introduce myself. First of all, I'm a local person, born in Kitchener, educated at Kitchener, what then was called KCI, Kitchener Collegiate, and then entering University of Waterloo in, I think it was 1961, and graduated in 1965 with the honors BA in English. I developed a love for the poetry of Yeats under Walter Martin professor at University of Waterloo, and did my MA thesis on Yeats, my PhD thesis on Yeats, and it did me, it stood me in good stead throughout my career. The thing that really impressed me about the undergraduate experience at University of Waterloo, I should point out, I was in the second class of English literature at the university. The first class had 3 students in honors English. My class had 5 students in honors English. And every class was like a tutorial or a small seminar. We had other classes for electives, which might have been 25 or 30 students, but we really did get individual attention. And the professors at Waterloo really took us seriously. They saw themselves as training us really for academic career, and they did. I created these awards not out of any sense of ego to have my name well known, because I'm sure it isn't beyond the award ceremony. It was out of a sense of gratitude for what Waterloo did for me. I was at a stage at the end of high school where the job offers I had were becoming sort of an intern as a manager for a 5 and 10 cent store chain called Metropolitan, which I wisely turned down. And then at the plastics extrusion company, which I was only there to earn money to come to University of Waterloo, they suggested I stayed to be foreman. I turned that down. These were wise decisions. And as I say, Waterloo had a big impact on me, and I want to make sure other students had the opportunity to benefit from as much as possible from their studies at Waterloo. Money is much tighter now, and I realize that than it was in my day, where things were really flush, quite frankly. And had that money not been available, I wouldn't have had the career I had. That's my major motivation, quite frankly. I think it takes a lot of guts, quite frankly, to do graduate studies in this day and age. It means a person really has a love for the material, and that should be rewarded. One of the awards is named for my wife, my late wife, Lee Vogel Nimmo. It's the Professionalization Award. She was born in Jerusalem. She is a dual citizen, Israel and Canada eventually. And she likewise, being a Holocaust survivor and brought up as an orphan, had very few prospects really. Her talent as an artist was recognized early on in high school, and she was able to win a major scholarship to travel to do her studio work. The aid given to her by that scholarship transformed her life. And I want to hopefully have that similar experience for other people who might win that professionalization award.
Thank you so much to Waterloo for this award. I'm going to share 2 poems for my selection. Love poem with no apologies. I will not apologize for my wrinkles or sweat stains, for my morning breath, which means you have woken up to me curled into your chest with my hair in your mouth. Instead of 20 minutes spent shaving my leg hair, I lie with you on the sofa and tell you the ways I fucked up before. There will come a day we finally say I love you, and I will not apologize for my stutter.
I do not think of beauty as a gauge, but rather the animal that we are. I will kiss the soles of your feet through the holes in your socks, put my orange peels next to your empty coffee mugs, braid your rumpled hair on afternoons you fall asleep in my lap. 7 free spirits. John, a pulse is everything except flesh and skin and bone. Everything that makes love, makes passion, makes a money plant grow outwards and upwards. Jezba. Fireworks go off half an hour after midnight. We toast our drinks, plant clumsy kisses, lean upwards to catch sparks, step out of our bodies and into others. Mahal. Light burns brightly in this house, makes spider plants spread out its children to sunspots. Full dinner table laughs on wobbly legs, seen only when absent. Alindar. It does not matter if the rhythms in your head are not beautiful, or your hands join out of step. You come into this universe knowing. Rukbat. A tendency to want to know, the sprinkle of salt water, the laughter of mountain pine, the geometries of galaxy clusters. A tendency to drift, like feathers or rocks in motion. Ru. Floats through nitrogen, does not breathe, feels its presence watching over us. Come now. Shed these vessels, entangle with each other. Niyat. Did you pray for me today? Stand vertical to heaven, bend on horizontal axis, the earth you pray on. Kneel with your head touched to carpet, where flesh will rot when soul roams free. Thank you so much.
All right, so this brings us towards the end of our ceremony. But before we go, we have a few important people to thank.
First, thank you to the donors. Quite simply, these awards would not be possible without your support, and it was so wonderful to hear from several of you during this ceremony. Thank you.
Next, our undergraduate and graduate students. Thank you for being excited and proud of the work you're doing in your courses. Thank you for submitting your work this year, and keep submitting your work.
There were a few fantastic people who helped us behind the scenes. We would like to thank Margaret Albrecht and Deb Nalick for all of their hard work, checking submissions, printing and mailing certificates, and helping us bring this ceremony from imaginings to what I'm claiming is a roaring success. This year, to bring an element of joy to our virtual ceremony, we had this idea of sending snacks, chocolate, and popcorn to all of our award winners, and they took that idea and they made it a reality. We are so grateful to them.
We would also like to thank all the English faculty who nominated students in their courses. Even when students don't win, the nomination itself means so much to them. It really goes a long way to build their confidence. So thank you for supporting them in this way. And as I mentioned, most of our faculty also participate in judging the awards, and this is a ton of work. So we also want to thank them again for their service.
Finally, we want to thank our incredible co-op student, Rakshita Jain. Rakshita is a first-year systems design engineering student who's impressed us with her exceptional communication skills, her technical skills, creativity, professionalism, and overall awesomeness.
Yes, everything Megan said times 10. We appreciate Rakshita so much. Speaking of the incredible things Rakshita has done, we haven't mentioned our website yet. Our awards website now has a new section to celebrate the award winners. We've also created an opportunity for the winners to share their work, which many have done. So I encourage you to check it out. The website link is below in the description box. And remember, you can view the full interviews of our donors there as well.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, it's never too early to start submitting for next year. Bye, everyone.
Bye.